Do you know that Moscow, the capital of Russia, has the longest metro system in Europe? For only $2.20, you can buy a ticket to travel from any of its 297 stations, passing through all city destinations. In other words, you can enter the metro by paying $2.20 and travel all day if you stay inside the metro system, which is 510 kilometers long. Moscow's metro system is so phenomenal and an engineering and planning marvel that citizens don't need their cars. They mainly rely on this public transport, which takes them to their destinations the fastest way possible. So, how is Moscow insanely well designed, but nobody knows about it? Moscow has been designed by keeping its citizens in mind, not the big corporations who can extract rents, the case which we see in most Western countries. In this respect, Moscow's public transport system stands at the top. It is an extraordinary combination of efficiency, scale, and breathtaking aesthetics. Often called palaces for the people, the city's metro stations show the Soviet ambition of creating not just practical transit hubs, but grand monuments to culture and progress. In stations like Komsomolskaya, you can see luxurious and extravagant chandeliers lighting up sophisticated mosaics. Each station is a work of art, uniquely designed to celebrate Russian history, culture, and pride. This architectural splendor is not merely decorative. It is an integral part of what makes Moscow's transportation system a world-renowned marvel. But beyond the art, it's the efficiency and ingenuity that makes the Moscow metro system unparalleled. Beneath its chaotic-looking map lies one of the most efficient and heavily utilized transportation networks in the world. As of 2023, Moscow's metro system handles over 2 billion passengers annually, surpassing the combined ridership of cities like New York and Toronto. This massive scale is managed with a design philosophy that balances practicality and innovation. A key to this efficiency lies in Moscow's orbital lines, which revolutionize urban transit. Unlike traditional radial systems that funnel passengers through crowded city centers, these circular lines allow riders to travel between different parts of the city without unnecessary detours. Therefore, the Koltsevaya line or Brown Line circles central Moscow, linking major metro hubs, while the Moscow Central Circle extends connectivity to the suburbs with its 31 stations. On the outer edges of the city, the Bolshaya-Koltsevaya line provides another layer of connectivity, also with 31 stations. Together, these orbital lines create a multi-layered system, ensuring that every part of Moscow is easily accessible without overburdening central stations. The numbers behind the Moscow Metro are staggering. With 297 stations, 19 lines, and 510 kilometers of track, it is the backbone of the city's transportation network. The metro not only serves Moscow, but also reaches neighboring cities like Krasnogorsk, Lyubertsy, and Kotelniki. During peak hours, trains arrive at intervals of just 80 seconds, making it the global leader in frequency of service. For context, New York City's subway system, often praised for its accessibility, has intervals of 2 to 5 minutes during its busiest times. Affordability is another standout feature. A single-day pass costs just $2.20, offering unlimited rides across the network, while a monthly pass costs around $20. Moscow even introduced FacePay in 2021, becoming the first metro system in the world to use facial recognition technology for ticketing. This innovation eliminates the need for physical tickets or cards, speeding up entry and reducing congestion at station gates. While the metro is the star of Moscow's transportation system, it is far from the only component. The Moscow Central Diameters, MCD, serve as a bridge between the metro and regional rail systems, stretching across 188 miles of track. These lines connect the suburbs directly to the city, offering a rapid transit solution. Within 9 months of its launch, the MCD had already recorded over 100 million journeys. Furthermore, buses play an equally crucial role, branching from metro stations to serve residential neighborhoods. With an annual ridership of 800 million to 1 billion, Moscow's bus system outpaces the combined ridership of New York City and Los Angeles. The city is also leading the charge towards sustainability, operating the second largest fleet of electric buses in Europe, with plans to fully transition to electric by 2030. Since 2011, Moscow has undergone a phenomenal transformation, expanding and modernizing its transportation system at an unprecedented pace. The city has added 187 miles of metro lines and constructed 150 new stations, bringing public transit within reach of an additional 3.8 million residents, a population comparable to that of Berlin. By 2033, Moscow plans to exceed 400 stations, joining New York City and Shanghai in an elite group of cities with such extensive networks. Accessibility has been a major focus of these upgrades. Many stations now feature elevators, escalators, and tactile guidance systems for visually impaired passengers. But things don't stop at the metro system. Moscow has been designed for its citizens, which means attention has been paid to creating facilities that improve the standard of living while keeping the cost of living low. According to reports, the cost of living in Russia is 62.8% lower than in the United States. Until now, the world paid little attention to what's happening inside Russia and how the country has reached heights. Moscow stands out as a city where the cost of living is surprisingly affordable compared to many Western capitals, offering its residents a high standard of living while challenging common stereotypes about life in Russia. While cities like New York, London, and Paris are often associated with excessive expenses for basic necessities, Moscow provides its residents with quality services and amenities at prices that make day-to-day life manageable. Housing in Moscow is far more accessible than in Western metropolises, where rent and home prices often consume an overwhelming portion of household incomes. Moscow offers housing options that cater to a wide range of income levels. Apartments in Moscow, even in central locations, are often 50 to 70% less expensive than comparable accommodations in New York or London. Even reports suggest that rent in the United States is 216% higher than in Russia. Government programs have played a crucial role in keeping housing affordable. Subsidized public housing ensures that lower-income families can access decent living conditions, while low-interest mortgage plans make homeownership realistic for the middle class. Additionally, the city has avoided the extreme real estate speculation and housing crises seen in many Western countries, keeping property prices stable and within reach of average citizens. Furthermore, utility costs in Moscow are significantly lower than the spiraling energy bills burdening residents in many Western cities. Thanks to a well-maintained, centralized heating system developed during the Soviet era, Moscow's residents enjoy consistent and affordable heating, even during harsh winters. Electricity, water, and gas are similarly cost-effective, with government subsidies ensuring affordability for both households and businesses. By comparison, residents of cities like Berlin or Los Angeles often grapple with unpredictable and sharply rising utility costs, particularly in colder months. Moscow's stable pricing for essential services means that residents don't have to choose between heating their homes and affording other necessities, a dilemma increasingly common in many parts of the West. Then comes healthcare. Moscow's healthcare system is a shining example of how universal access can coexist with affordability. The city ensures that every resident has access to quality medical care, with most services, including doctor visits, hospital stays, surgeries, and prescription medications, offered free or at a minimal cost. In contrast to the United States, where even basic healthcare can result in crippling debt, Moscow provides well-equipped hospitals, specialized clinics, and preventive care programs that cater to all socioeconomic groups. The elderly and economically disadvantaged benefit from additional support programs, further reducing barriers to quality care. Everyday essentials in Moscow are notably affordable. Clothing, household goods, and basic consumer items are available at prices that are manageable for most residents. Local markets and mid-range retailers provide stylish and durable options without the inflated costs often associated with Western consumer culture. Interestingly, Moscow's residents benefit from a flat income tax rate of 13%, which is significantly lower than the progressive tax systems in countries like the United States, France, or the UK. High earners in Western nations can face tax rates exceeding 40%, while Muscovites enjoy more disposable income to save, invest, or spend on improving their quality of life. The lower tax burden extends to other areas as well, including property and sales taxes, ensuring that Moscow's residents are not overwhelmed by hidden costs that erode their purchasing power. Despite these undeniable advantages, Moscow's affordability and quality of life often go unrecognized in global narratives. Western media tends to emphasize Russia's challenges while downplaying the successes of its cities. This selective portrayal helps maintain a narrative of Western superiority, reassuring citizens in Europe and America that they are ahead even as they face rising costs and shrinking access to essential services. That's because acknowledging Moscow's achievements would force Western governments to confront their own shortcomings, from housing crises to healthcare inequities. Moreover, it would challenge the stereotype that Russian citizens are dissatisfied with their standard of living, revealing instead a population that enjoys access to affordable amenities and basic necessities. Have you ever been to Moscow and experienced traveling in its vast and massive metro system? Do you think that Russia is way ahead of what Americans and Europeans know? In the comment section right below, Share your thoughts on the fact that ordinary Russians are enjoying the best quality of life which high-earning individuals in the West wish for. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: African politics, economy, and increasing power. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.